Hey guys, welcome to yet another video, and this video is a small casual short video because I'm getting a lot of DMs about my part-time work experience. So I will be sharing where all I was working, what all I was getting paid, how much time did I do there, how was my part-time jobs journey, and where you should also be working in my opinion. So without wasting time, let's start with my journey and let's start with my first job basically. So when I came in September 2020, it was almost lockdown. COVID was at not its peak, but it was rising on the rise. And that time, care home jobs, carer jobs, domiciliary care jobs were very much in demand. They are still in demand, but that time it was very much in demand and it was easy to get. So I did one small DBS check. I applied online via Indeed on a care home page, on a care home website. And on that care home website, I just applied, got a call next day that, okay, come for an interview. So I went for an interview. An interview was, I think, just a formality because they asked, do you care for anyone? And it was a simple, very simple formality type interview, and I got the job next day. Little did I know what we do as a carer. So I thought, okay, let's give it a try, and it's my first job, so let's go and see how it is. So it was my first day at job. I did some small training, 1 or 2 days of training in the office to know what all things are there, some caring things. And then I was as a domiciliary carer, so I went as a shadow with another person. And in my first shift itself, I realized that this is not something which I want to do. I had very bad experience and something which I was not prepared to do basically. So the experience goes like this. I was standing in the corner of the room, and the two carers whom I was working with, I was just accompanying as a trainee. I saw them change diaper of an old person, and while changing the diaper, I didn't know the history of the resident and of the person. So I later on I found out that he had loose motions, and while changing the diaper, the person had loose motion. So he had one shot, and the place was at his house. I just stormed out and I started to puke. So that is when I realized on day one with that this is not something I would want to do. I left that job. I had then applied for another job at Royal Mail because just before Christmas, before December, Royal Mail has a huge hiring spree. So September, October, November, December is the time when Royal Mail is hiring people left, right, and center. So I applied for a job at Royal Mail. The process was quite long. It was very simple process, but the process was quite long. I got the job there. The pay rate was around 12 to 14 pounds per hour, and sometimes during night shift, it was 16 pounds per hour on a weekend night shift. So it was a 0 hour contract, and I was working at Royal Mail as a casual mail sorter. So basically, I was just putting letters and parcels according to the postcodes. Very simple job, very easy, stress free, and infinite parcels they come every day. So it was monotonous and it was a government job. So yeah, I was working at Royal Mail for quite some time. I was doing few hours, maybe 14-16 hours every week. 4 hour 3 shift or 4 shift a week, 6 to 10, sometimes 4 to 10, depending on the shifts that are available, and I was doing at Royal Mail. Then at the same time during Christmas, I know that we are allowed to work full time 40 hours. So I applied for another job as a customer assistant. I think it was a good thing to do, and I was working as a customer assistant at Marks and Spencer's. So it was around 18 hours contract, weekly 18 hours. So remaining hours I was doing at Royal Mail, and then this was also on NI at Marks and Spencer. It was, I think, 10 pounds per hour during that time. Minimum wage was, I'm not sure what the minimum wage was, sorry, 8.91, and the wage that I was getting was 10 pounds per hour, 18 hours contract, weekly, random shifts, and just refilling the shelves. And it was at Marks and Spencer, and I know that Marks and Spencer has a good graduate scheme. So I applied there and I got the customer assistant job. I thought it will look good on my resume, but we will come to that later on. Then Marks and Spencer was just 1 month during Christmas, and it ended. The contract ended in January. So from January 2021 to February, March, April, I was only working at Royal Mail, doing sometimes 12 hours, sometimes 14 hours, sometimes 16 hours. And the remaining time which I had, I was applying for jobs. I was focused. I was very much keen on applying for jobs, basically, because I think applying for job is the most important job that you will be doing in the UK as a student. So writing resume, streamlining cover letter, applying properly for jobs, and religiously applying, just not copy paste everything, all the jobs, but applying religiously for jobs, all the different jobs, different CVs, different resumes. I was doing that most of the time during my free time and not working extra like most of the students over here do. So during those time, February, March, April, in the free time after Royal Mail, I was applying for jobs and I was working on my assignments, because in May I had to submit a lot of assignments, which September intake students are well aware of. So during May, after Royal Mail, it was getting less working hours, so I started to apply again and I found a job at Pizza Hut. I started as a crew member, just a normal Pizza Hut store member, and I grew from store member to shift manager within 1 month. And then I was store manager at Pizza Hut over here in Chelmsford, the one at Duke Street. If you are watching this video in Chelmsford, you know the one at Duke Street. I was the store manager over there. Though from April, May, June, July, August, and September 6. So 6 months I was in Pizza Hut. I was getting paid, I think, just above minimum wage. I was getting around 10.5, if I'm not mistaken. I was getting 10.5 per hour. I was doing sometimes 18 hours, sometimes 20 hours. And during break time, I was doing 30, 40 hours. Whatever the legally allowed limit. I never exceeded my working hours, and I was happily working at Pizza Hut. And in free time, I was applying for jobs. And after at least 100 or 200 applications, thorough applications, I started getting interview calls, and I did take at least 15-20 interviews. But I did not stop applying, and I was continuously applying. I was getting rejection mails from name any company, and I think I have applied if it is a supply chain related job. So yeah, I've done a lot of interviews and I've got through some of them. Some of them were not my type, some of them didn't like me, some of them I didn't like. But yeah, end of the time, in August, I think, when the deadline for placement ends, I had placement from 2 different companies, and I chose the one that I'm working with right now. It's called Smart Tool Group Global. So I started my placement over there from September 6th till May. It was like a job. I was working full time, but it was a placement. I was learning a lot of things. They taught me a lot of things. Then in May this year, when my placement ended, the same company hired me. I am still working there. I am on PSW right now. And yeah, that is my employment journey in the UK from my first job till my current job. The pay is going up and down depending on where I'm working, but right now it's quite stable and I'm happy where I am right now. And that is my journey basically. So now I want to talk about the part-time jobs that you as students coming in January should be doing, because I have seen many students are working in care homes, delivery rider jobs, and warehouse workers. These 3 jobs are very high paying. Firstly, care home jobs are very high paying jobs. Warehouse worker jobs are very high paying jobs. You will be getting 12, 13, 14, 15, 20 pounds per hour even. And delivery rider jobs also very high paying jobs. But I don't think you should be working there, because if you are stuck in those kind of jobs, you will never have free time to apply for better jobs. And by jobs, I mean whatever you are studying related to that. And I've always believed from day one of my life in the UK that I will be only working at places where I can proudly put it on my resume. So if you're working at, say, Vinod Bhai Care Home Service or any XYZ random warehouse workplace, warehouse limited or whatever. So if you're working as that, you cannot put in your resume, and in experience, you cannot write, changing diapers is my experience. You are coming here as a student of masters in supply chain management, or masters in project management, or masters in civil construction, or civil management, or civil engineering, MSc mechanical engineering, MSc accounting and finance. And in your resume as part-time jobs during student life, You cannot mention you're working at a care home or a warehouse operative and doing delivery jobs for Just Eat, Uber or XYZ, XYZ company. That is just not right, and I don't think it is what you should be doing. What you can focus on alternatively is you should be working at place where you feel proud that okay, even if I put Pizza Hut, Marks and Spencer, Royal Mail, these three companies I have worked for. Care home I will not put because it was just one day, so I don't want to put it. And these three places I work for, I can proudly put on my resume. And when an employer sees that no matter what you have worked at and how long you have worked at, but when an employer sees okay, you have worked in a British company, Marks and Spencer is British origin, then Royal Mail is British origin. If you have worked at such places even for 1 month or 2 months and as a customer assistant also, the employer who is seeing your resume for a good job will see okay, he has some he has worked for some British companies and these are good companies. So that will also hit in the head of the hiring manager, and it will be very helpful in the back end to get a job. So I think this is one important point of what I wanted to say in this video, basically, apart from my employment journey, that work in places where you feel proud and you can safely put in your resume that okay, I was working as a crew member at McDonald's or working as a store supervisor at Pizza Hut, store supervisor at Subway, or customer assistant at Aldi or Lidl or such big companies. Don't work at places like, seriously man, as a delivery rider, don't work there, because it breaks my heart sometimes to see when everybody is enjoying on a bloody Christmas night and I see 15-20 students on a cycle doing delivery jobs, feeding people and taking deliveries and working. Wherever I go, I went for a recent trip to Bath and Bristol area. I saw Indian students from University of Bath, pretty sure, working as delivery riders. When I go to London, I see hundreds of students working as delivery riders. Then when I go to Birmingham, I see so many delivery riders, and I'm pretty sure there are students in some universities, probably on student visa or PSW, I don't know, in Chelmsford, in Southend, wherever you go, you will find Indian students working as delivery riders. And sometimes not sometimes, sorry, I'll be very honest, brutally honest, it always breaks my heart to see Indian students struggling so hard. We have come here to study masters and not do delivery jobs. So delivery jobs, care homes, if you see care homes, all of them have Indian students in that. And I know most of the students don't care about the residents over there. They're just working because they are getting a job somewhere. But if you wait a little and try harder, I'm sure you will get a better job than a care home or warehouse. And having said that, in no means I want to disrespect those who are working. You might have some good reason to be working there, but if you are stuck in that vicious circle of getting paid more and working in a care home or a delivery or a warehouse, then I hope you get out of it and realize it sooner, or later. Actually, it's better late than never, because once you are stuck in those places and paying very good, you will never be able to work at a minimum wage in a restaurant or as a customer assistant role where they will pay you 9.5 or 10 or 10.5. So I hope this is an eye-opener video for some of you, and I hope the students who are seeing this video and planning to come, don't get stuck in this vicious circle of care home, warehouse and delivery jobs. I hope I saved you guys, and I think if you share this video to so many students, that someday we don't see any Deliveroo riders or Just Eat riders as Indian students. So I hope you understand this, and I hope you will carry on your journey forward, and I hope you get a good job and not the circle job. That's all from my side for today, and I think if you like this video, please share, subscribe and comment. And thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day and good luck.